Good morning. It is the Giving Tuesday mid-morning, in the middle of the morning time from Pacific Coast to the mountain region to Cancun. We have both Oracle Ruth V. Mellor and Dr. Marga Macias that are here to talk about the healing through epigenetics. Now, I was just taught recently, wink, wink, that I had it a little wrong, but in concept, the concept of epigenetics is something that is near and dear to my heart, and so I'm not going to take a lot of time in the intro because I want to be able to get to the meat and potatoes of what it is that we are doing with this segment. So I'm actually going to kind of take a fly in the wall attitude because I am interested in watching it personally. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
We love you, Tamara. So Dr. Marga is coming in from Cancun. She's on vacation, and this is how awesome she is to this helping people and the cause that's going on for the Giveathon in Chemo Buddies for Life. But anyway, so I have had a chance to work with Dr. Marga and also see her work and experience her working. And what I absolutely love is that she is a practicing doctor currently right now. And then also she has been able to merge the energetic side of the healing with the doctor side of it to where it gives it just an excellent combination to help us understand how to fully come together and heal parts of us and bring clarity to things that don't always have clarity. And this is something you work with in the doctor field and also your energetic healing field. And the epigenetics is something that just lights me up completely. So I would love if you would just explain a little bit of how it kind of works.
Well, epigenetics, let me explain for those who don't quite understand what it is. It's the study of heritable changes. So it's something that you inherited, and heritable changes in the gene expression, that do not involve changing the DNA sequence. So in other words, we don't modify the genetic code itself that you were born with, because there's no way to really do that. You're already born, it's formed. We don't modify the code, but we modify how the cells read the code and express it. So that's the wonder of it, this is something that can be done now, because in all my years of training, I've never been taught this, I've never experienced this, but then life experiences showed me that there are things that cannot be helped or changed by Western medicine itself. That there's such a deeper layer of healing that can happen. And I've witnessed miracles. I've witnessed how people can do what we seen was the impossible. But also in that light, how important it is in the process of healing, whichever illness you're faced with, whether it's cancer or some other debilitating or chronic illness or whatever it is, how modifying the gene expressions that do not serve you in your process of healing, how important that is to get you to how you want to be, courageous and brave and strong and optimistic. Because some of these genes are inherited, not by any fault of our own, but we were born carrying those genes. And I'm not talking about medical genes for disease, medical genes for that. Yes, that's a completely different story. But I'm talking about inherited negative patterns or emotions that can impede healing. For instance, like back in your ancestors, they carry the gene of, they always were feeling hopeless, oppressed, pessimistic, were gloomy, and everything was doom and gloom. And so, unknowing to you, you inherited that pattern. how do you think you're going to be able to respond to your healing if you carry that inside you? And so through the energy healing of epigenetics, it's like you release that pattern that was inherited that no longer serves you, and you replace it with something that is exactly what your body needs. And in that process, you go forth with that new expression, not changing your genes, not changing the code, but you express that code differently now. And the beauty of this is that not only does it release from the ancestor who started it, but it also helps to cleanse or release it from your generation moving forward. That's what intrigued me so much. And when I was beginning this journey of energy healing and writing books and reaching out to more people, which, by the way, it's not me. I don't know what triggered inside me, but I said, there's more to me than this. Oh yeah, I know. I almost lost my life. And so I said, there's something I'm meant to do in this world. But it didn't feel like what I was doing was enough. And so by circumstances, things happened to me. And then I got introduced to wonderful people who opened my eyes to this whole new world. I mean, I've been trained by, and I've been seen by, I've been, working with powerful people in the field of not only epigenetics, but in energy healing. You being one of them, Ruth included. And so, there's, Lisa Thomas, there's Serena, Ileana. I mean, they were instrumental in helping me, first of all, go through what I had gone through, which would have knocked most people down, but it also helped me discover, hey, I can do this. And I asked him, can I learn this? Absolutely, you can, because you have that healer gift. So I took it and I ran with it, because I said, if there's a way to marry the two, where you have that science that we cannot neglect, where you have the, sometimes you absolutely need the medication. But if you can marry that with taking care of you and healing you from the inside, so that you are going to be able to better face whatever life throws at you, then how beautiful is that? And that's why I love it that I can now heal on a holistic way, not just Western medicine, but also this energy healing, which for me is extremely important, if not the most important component of all.
It's absolutely great. Just, it's amazing when you can combine it all together, because everything has different components to it. And just like nutrition, right? It has different components to it. And all of us, all pieces of us have different components to it. And you're going to kind of give us a little demonstration as far as with me, right? Do we get to play with that a little bit?
Oh yes, if you are willing.
I'm definitely willing. So when you say gene expression, so that is so what I picture it as, right, is how I choose to express myself, my whole self. And sometimes a pattern that's hanging on keeps showing up.
Yes.
And in that expression, we sometimes don't even have a clue that we're even doing that. Sometimes we know we are and we don't like it, but we don't know how to change it. Sometimes it's like almost like an addiction, because our body thrives somehow in that atmosphere. And right? Or
not quite so much. I mean, it can be that way, but it can also be you don't understand why you react this way to certain things. Like, for instance, I will always have parents come to me. I have a problem with my child. He gets so angry at the drop of the hat. I mean, throwing things, violent, vicious, hitting people, hurting people. And then, why this? Maybe he has this and this and this. I says, no, stop right there. I said, who in the family had that same problem growing up? Think about it, your side or dad's side. She goes, oh, Dad's exactly the same way. I said, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So it's that, that how, and it's funny because this is a small child. So, but it's ingrained in him to respond that way. There just like the gene for depression, just like the gene for anxiety. I mean, there's things that express themselves that way that are carried back from before, but not necessarily illness itself. And I'm not gonna, but not necessarily illness itself, but your emotion, your negative emotion that is inherited from somewhere in the past. Who started it by what happened in their life, and now that is like the gene for illness passed on to you,
Right.
And then now, but that's not helping you in, number one, becoming who you want to be, and number two, healing if it takes that lack, the lack of that to make you, if it takes replacing that with something else to help you move forward.
Right. And I love that, because then that can be the exact. I'm excited. Okay, so what do I get to do? I know that you are going to need to turn the camera off as you do some of this, because you get to tune in and you work with different parts of my body communicating to you, and you get to be in tune with that. But what is something that maybe the audience gets to notice or just listen to or feel for themselves? Or is there anything that you recommend the audience, where I'm still going to be on camera?
Yes.
But do you have anything? I know it's kind of like we're kind of throwing this at you, but anything that the audience can kind of notice while you're off camera?
They might see emotions from you, like sighing or nodding, or sometimes getting tearful, because when I say words, it's going to come intuitively. I don't filter what I'm saying. I'm not going to filter and say, for instance, oh, I know Ruth, she's not going to feel this way. Oh, she's better than that. She doesn't need that. I'm not going to go that way. And
you're just going to do it.
For this to happen, of course, the number one thing is the person must be receptive. So, for instance, nobody can come to me and say, could you work on so-and-so for me? But so-and-so doesn't believe it, doesn't want it, is not receptive of this, not going to happen that way. So it has to be where the whoever I'm working with, or whoever they request me to work with, it gives permission and is receptive for that. And there's a way to test whether or not they will be.
Yeah. So, well, and it makes sense too, because in any time of interacting with people, it doesn't matter how much you give in what you think is best for them. It is always, what are they going to do with it? How are they willing? And so that's with everything. So it makes complete sense why. Okay. So if I'm just saying it, I feel like I'm receptive, but I will let you also confirm that with my body.
So first of all, my question to you would be, is there anything in particular that you feel is you need help with, or that has been bothering you or has been weighing on in your heart? Is there any such emotion that you want to feel better about, or anything?
So this is really interesting, and I know it always is, right? Because we think differently than what's really going on sometimes. So I've got two different things that are showing up, and I'm going to let you just fill into what you feel. They might be together. So one is, I have recently gotten some interesting sores on my body, two little ones. Okay. Yes. And very mysterious, right? Weird stuff happens in my life all the time, though. So the second one is, and I don't know why this is showing up, because logically I don't know, but we're not going to go there. How am I a good, I guess I worry about how to be always a better mom. So whatever of those kind of shows up for you. So one's actually a body thing and one is thoughts.
Well, if we have time, we can try to do both. We can try to do both. But so this is the pattern. This is how it's going to be. So I'm going to first access your body, heart, and mind and soul. And I will test if you actually do give me permission to do that. And then I scan all your chakras. Then I find, if it's, for instance, in the solar plexus, I find what emotion your body wants me to release, or is the overwhelming emotion that you are experiencing. And then comes in the expression of how it comes through in your life. Whatever is being downloaded in my mind, I'm saying it to you, whether or not it makes sense to me. I'm not here to filter. I'm here to tell you what's going on. And then after that releasing part comes the replacing it. And the replacing is my part where I intuitively replace what emotion that your body is needing, or I'm feeling needing or wanting, to help you get over what we just released, And then the final part is the integration, where the integration of all things put together. So yes, it's like replace. After you're replacing, we now integrate into your mind, body, heart, and spirit this new awarenesses that have come to you from this.
Okay, I am excited.
And the reason why I was asking those questions first, because I need to formulate a question in my mind to ask your body. And
got it.
So some people will say, well, how do you know? How do you know? It's just, I don't know. But when I'm connected, it's your subconscious speaking to me. And you might initially say, well, I wasn't feeling that way. But then, hours or later, you might say, oh, dear God, yes, that's true. Yeah, that Bill. So I have no way of knowing whether it's right. I mean, whether I don't have no way of verifying, because but all I'm doing is because I am connecting and connected to you at that moment in that session. I am receiving what your subconscious, what your body is asking me to clear or asking help with. So it might be completely unexpected. It might be, well, duh, of course.
I know, we're really clever at how we word and translate stuff and hide things and pack it together sometimes.
And that's what made us, a little, tricky for me to learn and to process, because I'm so used to logical mind, science. But then I had to learn to just let go and trust
who it is
and what I'm saying. Because sometimes it doesn't make sense, but then after they tell me things, I go, oh, holy cow, really? So that's a wonderful thing. So I'm going to start off first with asking the questions, coming up with the questions, because that's how it is. I will ask your body. You see how that resonates with you. You see if that question is something that you feel is what you need. Okay. And then after that, then I go off camera because I need to get into my zone. I cannot be distracted by something else. You will still hear me, but you won't see me. Okay. And then we'll go through the process. Once in a while, I will question you and say, Ruth, does this resonate with you, or whatever? And then, but just try to let me keep talking, because so that the download keeps on flowing, so I don't get cut from here.
Perfect.
Okay.
I get it.
The first thing you said was you had recently started to get some sores in your body. Okay. So what I'm getting now is, what is the root cause for the sores that Ruth is experiencing now? How does that sound to you?
Great.
Okay. That's question number one. And number 2, worry about being best. What needs to be released? To calm the worried energy Ruth is experiencing. Ruth what needs to be released to calm the worried energy that keeps coming back? What needs to be released to calm the worried energy of being a good mom?
Good.
For Ruth, okay? How does that sound? So the first question I'm going to ask your body is, what is the root cause? And I have to write this down because I'm going to get your emotions right there. So I need to be writing things down. What is the root cause for the source that Ruth is experiencing now? And the second question, what needs to be released to calm the worried energy of being a good mom from Ruth? How is that?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
All right. All right, Ruth, take a deep breath. Hold it in. Breathe it out. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Breathe it out. And then the next deep breath, breathe in all the heaviness or worry that's inside you. Breathe it in. Hold. And now forcefully breathe it out. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Let us begin. Accessing 100% spirit, accessing sabotages, and accessing 100% soul, connecting on all levels and dimensions to the heart, mind, body, and soul of beautiful Ruth, past, present, and future. Am I connected? Do I have permission to test? I do have permission, Ruth.
Yay.
I didn't doubt that. Okay, let me go. What is the root cause for the source that Ruth is experiencing now? Is it here? I'm scanning your chakras now. I'm picking up remorseful energy from your crown chakra. Now I'm going to ask your body if it was inherited or not. This is inherited. Yes. Is it from your mother's side? Father's side? Is it 0 to 5? 0 to 5, 5, 4, 3. I'm picking it up. Inherited, father's side, 3 generations back. Does that anything make sense to you? Father, remorseful, inherit, generations back.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like I can say yes to it.
Okay.
I definitely don't have clarity on it, but I feel like I can say yes.
All right. I'm feeling a lot of heaviness in my heart now, almost like I want to cry. Okay, let's begin. With all the love and intention of the universe, I am releasing the inherited emotion of remorse from the DNA tissues, fibers, tapestry of Ruth's physical body, out of every cell, organ, tissue, gland, chakra, light body, and meridian. Releasing remorse on your father's side, going back 3 generations back to the originator. Releasing remorse where I'm feeling a lot of guilt, but there's so much guilt involved, like a heaviness, like this is not the way I wanted things to be. This is not the way things should have been. If I could go back in time, if I could change things, I would gladly do that in a heartbeat. Releasing remorse for joy that was lost, for trust that was lost, for peace that was lost. Releasing remorse for the cohesiveness that was broken. Oh. Releasing remorse where every single waking day is ridden. I'm getting more of a feeling of guilt and almost shame. Guilty for what had happened and really remorseful. I'm really, really wishing, I'm getting sense that really wishing that things could have been different. Like if you put me back, if you could rewind time and put me there again, that things would have been done differently. Remorse for the pain that it had caused. Oh, I have tears in my eyes. Oh, dear Ruth, I love you. This is painful. Releasing remorse for the pain that it caused so many people and continues to cause them. Releasing remorse for not being there when that person was needed. It's like, I wish I was there for you in a different way. I wish I did not cause you so much pain. I wish that I have not destroyed what should have been yours growing up. I wish I didn't destroy your childhood. I wish I didn't destroy your joy, your light growing up. I wish I didn't make you feel unsafe, unheard, unseen, not validated. Releasing remorse for doing things that could not be unchanged. Releasing remorse from feeling like they're now eaten alive because deep down inside there is so much shame and so much sorrow for what had been caused. And I get the overwhelming feeling that I wish things could have been different. And for everything I have caused you, for everything that you have gone through, for every pain it was inflicted in your heart, in your mind, in your body, in your soul, I am so sorry. Feels lighter now. Releasing remorse from not knowing any better at that moment. Releasing remorse for only thinking for themselves and not considering the pain, the effect that would have had on the people that they should have loved and protected and taken care of and guarded with their own life. Okay. Feeling better now about that. I'm feeling better about this now. Okay. Now, I'm going to find the emotion that your body wants me to replace. Okay. It came to me in the beginning and it's coming back to me strong now. Replacing remorse with calm, with a calmness of knowing that what was done was done, the calmness of knowing that even through the actions done, that the persons involved have become brighter, stronger, better for who they are. Replacing it with a calm of knowing that even if so much pain was inflicted, that something good still came out of it. Replacing remorse with forgiveness. Forgiveness for what was done. Forgiveness for the pain that was instilled. Forgiveness for the childhood that was lost. Forgiveness for the trauma of mind, body, and spirit and soul. Replacing it with the forgiveness of knowing that it was acted upon at that state when they knew nothing else, and it was the only way their body knew how to handle the events, the situations. Forgiveness, that's all they could have done at that moment, and they didn't know any better. Or if they did, they were not strong enough to overcome it, not strong enough to change their ways, not loving enough to stop themselves, not kind enough to stop inflicting pain. Right. I'm coming back on for a second, Ruth, because I want feedback from that point. From that.
My when you first started, like, I felt like super heavy, right? Like this. And then as you started to do it, I just kept yawning. That was the biggest thing. I just kept yawning and yawning and yawning. But then there was a point where it was getting close to the end of the release. And right through here started hurting, like aching, right? Not like a hurt, but like an ache. And then that's gone. And I just kept noticing, like, right below my heart in my solar plex areas, it kept fluttering. And right here kept like twitching. But yeah, like, I know where that line has continued doing things, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I've done a lot of work with myself, right, in some very intense ways. And one of the common denominators was like I was like the dam to stop it, like, stop this stuff, just stop it. And so it got really heavy, and so all the clearing work has been smoothing that out. So it was like, it felt like, that's what it felt like. It felt like instead of the dam breaking, right, or me having to push it back, it felt like it was just dissipating.
Okay.
That's what it felt like, just dissipating.
Perfect. So it's like a gentle release,
Yeah.
and not like a kaboom. Yeah.
Right. Or
And
not like a, right. It was just like, it just felt like it just all kind of dissipated. Like, wait a minute. It was almost like I could feel, it was like a grandpa, like the male side of things, right? Like almost like, wait, we don't have to hold this. We don't have to continue this. And then after that, it was like they realized, and it was like, oh, okay. So that's my experience, Marga.
and know that it's going to continue even after this. It doesn't stop here. So it doesn't stop when we stop talking. That it's like setting the wheels in motion, and that's going to keep on going. Now it may come back in another way. Let's say if we work together, it might come back in another way, like remorse, but not necessarily in that sense. It might be from some other person's side, or it may be something that you had locked in that time of your life.
Yeah. I've got, interesting body sensations happening that are not really that comfortable, but it just feels like kind of foreign. And my mind is more of like, what's going on, right? Rather than a panic or anything like that. And so I'm sure that's just.
And I felt a lot of heaviness, just remorse. And as I was speaking to you, I had tears starting to form in my eyes, and I said, "Oh my God!" It just felt so heavy. But I was like, when the words kept coming, it was like, okay, it's lighter and lighter and lighter. And I just let me bring back what your body wants me, to bring back, which is calm and forgiveness. So that's what I wanted. And then, I don't think do we have any more time, because I was going to do the second one for you if you wanted, but I mean,
we're getting close to the time where we need to start wrapping it all up, but this is fascinating.
We get to play some more, Marga.
Yeah, we will. I gotcha.
So what was that like for you, Tamara, watching and listening? It was interesting. Well, one of the things.
Oh, wait. One second. We're not done, Ruth. I forgot. We're not done.
She's gonna leave me hanging.
No.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna shut up. Close your eyes again, Ruth.
Just
close your eyes right now. I need to finish this. I need to close it out. Okay. Now I want you to say this with me, Ruth. Say this with me, Ruth. Okay. I completely integrate the new awarenesses and insights that have been made in this session. It is my divine right to live a purposeful life. Doing what comes easy for me. And so it is. So connecting on all levels and dimensions to the heart, mind, body, and soul of beautiful Ruth, past, present, and future, and filling her world with calmness and forgiveness. And so it is. I'm back.
Thank you. I commit. Well, that was fascinating. And I have to say, one of the things that was interesting was when Ruth, when you started the yawning, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it was like everything for me, because, I've been up so long. And then it was like, okay, this is really interesting, because
it's like a release. It is a release.
There was this whole, it was like, there was this feeling, just this like, whoa, this is interesting. Yeah. So fascinating to watch and to hear the connection between the two, what you were going through, Dr. Marga, and then what you were going through, Ruth, and putting the two together. I have to say it was a real interesting educational experience. And That's what I'm seeing here too. Interesting. And then we have those that are waiting to come onto the next show. It's really interesting because of the fact that one of them is into timeline therapy, and so she was like, "Oh, this is fascinating stuff," It's all interconnected, how we are now starting to realize that the generational activity, and I am glad that you explained it like you did, Dr. Marga, that it is like hopelessness, like that, and what was happening with the heaviness, and then my mind starts going to, what is the story behind the story? Because
and I would get glimpses of it.
Oh, really? You were starting to visualize it. Interesting. And that's all coming from within us.
Yeah, and I have no clue what I'm saying. It's just let it out.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So isn't it interesting when I've worked with people, and we've worked and there's more than one person engaging in it. So like Tamara, you're on the sidelines watching, and anybody involved in watching this as well, there's like a divine connection that happens, that somewhere in us there's a connection and a release also, that we all are like, okay, we're ready for this, right? And so if you were yawning and stuff like that with me, you, Marga, I don't know if you've experienced this too, but I've seen it as this is also a piece you're releasing in it as well.
Yes. Yawning is like, it's like a stress release. It's like everything comes to point, and like, your body is wanting more oxygen. It's like replenish. So, that's why we do it when we're sleepy, because we take deep breaths, like,
yeah. And it's interesting how we connect when we're all ready to support each other, and it just takes one or two to say, okay, let's do this, and then the rest of you are like, yeah, let's do this. And so I feel like Marga helped clear a lot of people that are watching as well through us.
And this is a very personal thing. I've never done it for a groups, because only because we're broadcasting to thousands, to millions, thousands, and that's why it was I had to ask Ruth, are you sure you're willing to do this? Because I don't know what's going to come out. I don't know what her body's going to say. Right. And if I hold back, it's difficult, but then she says, no, whatever it is. She was so brave and accepted it. And so, I mean, I didn't filter what I was seeing or hearing, imagining, or not imagining, but receiving from my mind to speak out. I don't know if any of the words I said make sense to you, Ruth, especially on the releasing part, but that's what I was really getting strong. And I just, like I said, there's no filter. It's just let the dam burst. And
it was great, but I didn't experience it like a dam bursted on me. I experienced it pressure releasing, right? Yes. Dissipating, which is very nice. What I meant, that's an easy way.
What I meant by dam bursting is just the ideas didn't stop. It was just like, it was just like coming out. It's not like, oh, what else do I say? It was, this. And that's why I just pass it on to you.
Well, thank you.
I want to also say thank you. Thank you for the experience. Thank you, Ruth, for being so vulnerable. Thank you, Dr. Marga, for being willing to share, because in truth, there's so many people that I do believe that we in helping us to bring a healthier self, for whatever reason that we may be carrying something that we can clear. And so then that way we can be lighter, freer, willing to go forward in a healthier, more enlightened self. Because health and wellness have so much to do with all the chakras, all the avenues of our mind, and the fact that you come from the scientific world also, Dr. Marga, it made it that much more interesting to watch the whole segment. And so I'm actually going to go back and watch it, I'm sure, a few times, because I'm fascinated. And I want to just personally say I appreciate the fact that you were both willing to share this today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And about the thing, Ruth, because I forgot that was tied into why you were getting all these interesting sores, in your body. So I'll be curious to see what happens. I'm seeing it two ways. One, that you don't get any new ones, or it might just all come out as like a final release, and then that's it, not again.
All right, I'll be prepared. I'll be prepared both ways.
I'll be curious to see what happens. Let me know.
Glad to hear. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, and enjoy your vacation.
Yes, Marga, thanks for doing this on your vacation. We love you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. My pleasure.
Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good.